Hello, everybody, and welcome to Just Another Nerdy Podcast. I'm Jay, and today I'm being joined by the incredible Sneaky underscore Zombie, or just Sneaky Zombie, as my text decides to put out there. Um, for those of you who don't know, you can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and CastBox. If you want to download us and listen to us, you can put a little nerdy in your pocket. You can also check us out on YouTube and Twitch. We stream live every Wednesday for the podcast, and then we try and do our streamer highlight videos on Mondays. Not always the case, and I'll let you guys know on Twitter, but you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. What we do here is we talk about nerdy news stories. We have a lot of fun. It's just nerds hanging out, chatting about TV, movies, video games, comic books, all the news. We find topics that we want to talk about. But today, we are doing something fun. We are interviewing a Twitch streamer by Sneaky Zombie. Hey, Chris Goodrich, how we doing? So, Sneaky, welcome. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good. I'm excited. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm awake. So Sneaky, for those of you, or for let's do a little pitch for you. Let's start off with that. Let's talk about what is it that you like to stream? Like if you were to talk about like kind of like what makes you unique as a streamer. What is your niche, would you say?
Oh gosh. Well, okay. So whenever I tell people what I stream, what I say is I mostly like uh I mostly do single player. I do like a lot of uh building and management type games like City Skylines and Banished. I love playing those kinds of games, but I'm also very much into like survival games, like The Long Dark. I've really been like knee deep in The Long Dark lately. Games like Graveyard Keeper and Dishonored, but also some story games. We've played some story games like Undertale and Life is Strange, and that's kind of the scope of games that I tend to play.
Awesome. Okay, so yeah, a fun story. The way that I actually found you is you found me. You either hosted or you rated me with like 20 some odd viewers or something like that. I was playing Dishonored just passively in the morning, and you just kind of hit me up. It was a morning or afternoon, and I was just like, "Holy crap!" like,
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah.
and what's kind of
That
cool? Oh, yep.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I love Dishonored, so it's yeah, I was so happy that you remembered me and found me.
Yeah, so I kind of like to check back with people and see what like if someone were to like hit me up and give me a lot of help and stuff. I like to look back, and so I checked you out and I was like, wow, you were streaming. I think you were streaming some more Dishonored, and then I think you moved on to the Long Dark. From there, one of the things I've liked to watch you play is like the survival type stuff. Um, and I remember you one of the cool things is like when you hosted me, you actually stuck around for a while and watched as well. Not a lot of people do that. Like it just kind of seems like host gone, and it was really cool to like actually sit down and talk to you and stuff.
Yeah, I often try to do that. I definitely understand how that can be too, because sometimes it feels like oh gosh, I know I just got a host. Okay, bye streamer, the fellow streamer and stuff, and sometimes that can be rough. It was probably a day that I didn't have to go to work, because usually if I go to work, like I have to like go and I'm just like I'm so sorry, I gotta leave. But I love it. I love seeing what other people do, because everyone's got their own style and their own play style, and sometimes you learn new things too, and so I always like to do that.
Awesome. So Sneaky, what how did you get into Twitch? Like what tell me the story. Like what is this Twitch origin for you? How'd you get into this?
Okay, so so what happened was, uh, my honestly, like I always really wanted to get into like uh whether it be like streaming or let's plays, I always kind of wanted to get into just like showcasing gaming, so to speak. And what happened was I was talking to my brother and I was playing an Undertale genocide run, and I kept texting my brother saying, "Oh my gosh, I wish I could show you what's going on. There's so much happening. It's so different. There's so much like it's so creepy. Like there was like all these just things that just the first time it was happening, I was just like kind of blown away because I had only done pacifist and neutral runs before. And finally, like I was like, I'm getting so close to, the final boss and stuff, and I'm so excited. And he was like, why aren't you just streaming this? And that kind of just made me think like, gosh, why am I not streaming this? And so I held off and I kind of like I had dug up I've actually had this account for a while now, but I just never really used it. And so I dug up this profile again and I was like, okay, I'm gonna, I kind of like made some, stuff really quick, just so it wasn't like all like empty, I guess. And then I just started streaming it and it was actually like it was awesome. I loved it because I got to like show people. It took me like 2 weeks to finally defeat the final boss, but it was I don't know, it was just amazing. That's pretty much how I got started.
Nice. So how long have you been streaming for?
I've been streaming for just over a year, so I started in October 10th, 2017. That's when I.
That's awesome. Um, so like tech wise, like one of the things I like to talk to people about is just kind of the technical aspect of things because the Twitch is this really cool playground where you get to play. Not only do you get to perform and you get to play video games, but you get to play with like tech. Like what kind of system did you start with, and have you evolved it since?
Oh gosh, no, I have not evolved at all. I wish I had. So the system I have right now, well, that's a story too. So I have a computer, and it's currently I made it in like 2010, 2010 or 2011. Whenever Rift came out, because we designed it because we were gonna play my husband and I we were gonna play Rift, and so we went to our local place and we were like, we need a computers so that we can play these games and still play games in the future. And I had upgraded it a bit. It had like a 1050 Ti and stuff like that. But somewhere in like April, like it suddenly just like would lock up. It would just not work. And I was distraught. And so for a good month, I was trying to fix it and I wasn't able to stream for it. And after this, but because oh yeah, that's why, because I needed to upgrade the CPU because we were like, I can't like stream cities anymore. I still can't stream cities without the computer hating me. But like I wanted to, so they were like, you need to get a new CPU. So I did, and then it was just this whole thing. Don't, by the way, don't go to Geek Squad for
Oh,
anything. Don't go to Geek Squad to get anything done. I'm pretty sure that's why it's still not working. But my hubby let me use his computer because he's mostly on console these days. And so I've been using his computer and it has not been upgraded for, no, like aside from like RAM upgrades, it hasn't been upgraded like for the stream. But I do want to get a new computer because these computers are like kind of on their way out. they
okay.
they're very hardy. They're very hardy, but they have definitely they've been very hard workers. But they're it's time. Their time is near.
Random question: have you tried because this is something like I my brother-in-law just told me the other day. Like, have you tried resetting the processor, like putting some more thermal paste down?
I have not. I haven't touched the hardware to be honest.
Okay.
I'm I'm like I'm relatively comfortable with computers and like I can change out RAM. I can put in a new video card, things like that. But when it comes to like thermal paste and stuff like that, I'm kind of like I prefer to leave it to the professionals. But I wonder if something like that may need to happen, like if I just needs to just pull out the CPU, put it back in, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was I don't know.
Oh, meme Coton says the problem is the BIOS update that the people at the store messed up. Ooh, that's terrifying. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. They really they oh it was bad. They really botched it. It was terrible. I mean, now I can get Windows 7 up. So I have Windows 7 on it, but it's having trouble like getting the updates installed, and for some reason it just refuses to install Windows 10. It just will not tolerate Windows 10 at all for whatever reason.
Well, that's not fun. Sorry to hear you've had that problem, but here you are persevering though. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
you had quite a long stream today. You were playing The Long Dark, which was really fun to watch.
Oh my gosh, it was a blast. It's really cool. We've been doing interloper recently in survival mode, and interloper is basically the hardest difficulty. They don't like things like guns and hatchets and knives. They don't spawn for you, so you have to go and make them yourself. Well, you can't make the gun. You have to make a bow and arrow, but it's basically this whole thing. It's very difficult, and everything wants to kill you even more. And I've been terrible at it, but we've been having a lot of fun learning.
Yeah, I've watched it. You're kind of plucking away. Did you ever get down to that ravine that you were trying to get to?
No, no, I haven't gotten there yet. We went out to the forge and forged ourselves a hatchet and a knife and a bunch of arrowheads. And right now I'm just kind of trying to figure out where to go next because I'm running out of food on the map I'm at right now, and I kind of need to like move somewhere. And I just don't know where. I don't know where to go next, or I have to kill a deer somehow. I don't know. It's just I gotta struggle somewhere.
Okay. So let's talk about the following you've kind of built up and stuff. Obviously, I'm assuming meme. Is it meme coding?
Mimi, it's
Mimi.
Mimi.
Mimi. I'm assuming Mimi's from your camp.
Yeah, Mimi's my mod. She's been my mod for like a while now. Hi, Mimi.
Hey Mimi, thank you for joining. Um, but let's talk about the build and stuff. Like, how do you feel that it kind of started and grew? What do you think people are like attracted to you? Like, how do you think they like attract to your stream and stuff? How do you feel that's
Ah,
been playing out?
I it's been playing out amazingly. Like I don't know. I'm honestly just kind of like thrilled. I'm just thrilled that people enjoy watching me play. They I don't know what necessarily attracts people to my stream. The most comment I get is that people are just like, "Oh, I just love your voice. You should read a book or something." And so I'm like, "Okay, cool." But yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, uh but whatever it is, I gotta keep doing it, I guess.
I don't know. Like one of the things that I noticed. I mean, definitely, like you have this incredibly soothing voice. I would almost say it's like you kind of remind me of like if a yoga instructor was doing video games.
I I honestly like I got it. That's probably like the most common. If there's ever a comment about me that people make, it's about my voice more than anything, which is weird because like I don't really. I guess I don't. I guess we never really hear ourselves
Yeah,
the way that other people hear us. Because I can be like kind of loud and noisy. If anybody who watches my cooking streams, I can definitely be like a lot more uh or a little less yoga teachery, I guess you could say.
yeah.
But I guess when I'm like sitting down in front of a game or whatever, I'm just like I don't know. I guess I'm just more chilled. There's less going on. I'm not like trying to make sure that the biscuits don't burn or whatever. But yeah, like it's the most common thing that people talk about. But I love it. Like I've been told I need to like you should do ASMR, you should read a book or like novels or stuff like that, like a bedtime story, and I'm just like that would be crazy.
What's awesome is like the way that you translate it though. Like your voice is a cool tool, but like you utilize it very well in a sense that you narrate everything that you're doing, and you constantly, in an entertaining fashion, keep talking. Like you're really good at continuously talking about what you're doing and making it not boring. You know?
Yeah, yeah, that's well, and that was like I think maybe that's because that's what everybody tells you to do.
Yeah.
They say keep talking, keep, I looked up because when I decided, when my brother was like, look, and honestly, like my brother like has really been like just an amazing like cheerleader for me. He's really been a huge support in my endeavors for the past year, and I really don't think I would have started without him even suggesting it. But he frick. I lost track of what I was saying. But but like I looked into some things because I was like, well, like what things do I need to be aware of? And they're like, don't stop talking. And I'm like, how do you do that? Like, how do you just not stop talking? And so like you say, like narrating, like that just kind of like that's just kind of the thing that you end up doing is you just go like, okay, we're gonna go over here now, and just like trying to keep it all going, keep it all like putting all your thoughts into your mouth, I guess. I don't know.
Did that take a lot of practice, or do you feel that might have come to you like almost overnight? Like, are you just like, do you feel you've evolved?
Yes. Yes. It didn't come overnight. I mean, I think I got the knack of talking, or at least not being super like quiet or silent, so to speak, over time. Like I think initially I got the knack of just kind of talking, but I think like being better at it came, over time. I used to stream in the living room, and so I have roommates, and so I would kind of talk really quietly like this, like so it was even quieter than I normally talk. Like right now, I feel like I'm talking pretty comfortably, and people would be like, "Why are you whispering?" And I'm just like, I'm not. I'd be like, I'm not whispering, and stuff. And so like over time though, like I felt like more comfortable talking with a more, so I guess maybe like I got louder even though I guess I'm still not that loud. And yeah, just getting used to talking and stuff. Like sometimes storytelling is even useful for me at least. To just kind of like or like when I'm playing the long dark, talking to the character can help me keep keep going.
Yeah, you do talk to Will quite a like. I noticed that you're talking to Will quite a bit this round, which was cool.
Yeah, he's got an attitude problem.
So with the long dark, you've been playing the long dark recently, and I know you've played some Dishonored. You did do a bit of a rundown of games, but like, what are your favorite things? So, what are some highlights of games that you've streamed recently?
Recently, let's see here. The most recent games that I've streamed, I would say, are The Long Dark and uh, Graveyard Keeper and Life is Strange 2. That's probably the like, most recent. Like I've kind of like been hopping in between the Long Dark and Life is Strange 2. I would say for for uh for Graveyard Keeper, I think my highlight was learning the basically learning alchemy. There's like this huge like uphill climb in Graveyard Keeper, which is great. It's very much like for those who don't know, it's very much like Stardew Valley, but like serious Stardew Valley. It's like an onion. It's got layers. It's way involved. And so I think for me it was like basically once I got into was able to achieve alchemy in that, it was like there's like just all this like relief. And recently, over after uh, 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 in October during Halloween, they updated it so now you can have zombie helpers, which is great because now I got like my own like little personal zombie horde, and that was amazing because now I can have them like chopping my wood and like hauling things for me, and so it's like you're creating like this whole little system now, like almost like a little machine system in your own farm, which is just amazing, and that was like just like the highlight at least of Graveyard Keeper recently for me. Life is Strange 2 is just I think the whole thing was a highlight just because it was brand new. Life is Strange was such a great series, and the new one is just I think is better. Oh, I played Deltarune 2 recently, and that was amazing too. If you like Undertale, you're gonna love Deltarune. Play it.
Yeah, wasn't Deltarune? Isn't that one that they just released or something? Isn't there a bit of a story behind
Yeah,
Deltarune?
yeah, Deltarune. So it was right. was that right around Halloween too? I think
Yeah.
it was. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was released on Halloween. So like, so I got told by one of my viewers. One of my viewers came into my Discord and sent me a DM or PM or whatever they're called, uh, and was like, "Oh my God, did you hear Toby Fox? Like there's a Undertale. You need to check out the Twitter." And I checked out the Twitter, and like it's all blacked out and all this stuff, and it's very cryptic messaging. It's like, "Hello, I've been waiting to come in contact with you for a long time," or some weird stuff. And it was just so exciting. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so thrilled!" And so like and then they released it, and I wasn't able to pick it up right away. I got it, but I wanted to be able to stream it, and I think the timing, something about the timing, I wasn't able to do it right away. So yeah, there was like a 20. Well, Toby requested that everybody not talk about it for 24 hours, and I wanted to definitely stream it. So I'm gonna pretend that I waited the 24 hours to stream it because I don't really remember the reason why. But yeah, so it was. But man, playing it like it's just the first chapter. So it's not even a complete thing. I guess you could call it a demo, but it's kind of like a first episode drop too, and it is amazing. It's such a well done game, and I've looked into some things like people have found um, you can tell that just as much work, if not more work, has gone into Deltarune than Undertale, and it feels different. It doesn't feel like like a Shrek 2 like version of Undertale. So it feels like we're going to be getting something completely different, and I'm 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 dying with excitement. Like I want the next chapter.
That's awesome. I remember seeing there was like a news article or like a tweet or something about Deltarune, and then I looked and you instantly looked at Twitch and you were playing it. I was like, oh heck yeah! So I watched you play a little bit of it. That was pretty exciting. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. What? So one thing I noticed, your backdrop is actually very unique. A lot of people spend time like I spent time on all this garbage over here, and some people set up like green screens and stuff. But what specifically is your backdrop, like a blanket or is that a handkerchief? What is that?
Yeah, so it's like a tapestry. So it's like a long like a long like rectangular, like it's not like a square, it's a very narrow rectangle that I have to try to crop just right. But yeah, it's just this tapestry that I got like at a Saturday market place, some sort of like hippie store or whatever for ages ago. And it was just kind of like hanging around my room. And I didn't have anything to put behind me. So like I only had like the wall. And I was just like, nobody wants to look at a wall, right? Like that's so boring. So I hung it up behind me and it's just stayed there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was looking at that and I was like, that fits, and it almost fits like, I don't know, like I wouldn't say that you have a specific personality color, but like the almost like the purplish blue just kind of fits you a little bit. I don't know if
Yeah.
that was on purpose, but
I think maybe it was like a happy accident or something.
okay. So
Yeah, no.
So I probably asked you this once already when you popped in on my stream, but I like to ask people this, and I think it's appropriate to ask you guys, the streamers, this quite a bit, and anybody in the chat, feel free to join in because this is really fun. But I like to tell people what my top 5 favorite games are, and maybe you don't have like these are my top 5 right away, but like what are some of your top favorite games, like ones that stick out to you? You don't necessarily
Well,
have to be streaming them either. They could just be something you grew up on or you played.
right. Yeah. Well, okay, so well, as far as games I grew up on, Link to the Past was a huge one for me. Link to the Past and Final Fantasy 6 or Final Fantasy 3, sorry. The one on Super Nintendo. I guess it depends on if you're talking US or whatever. But anyways, those two games were like the hugest ones for me. They were I don't know what it was about them, but they just like really they were just the most fun in my opinion. I love the story in Final Fantasy, and in Link to the Past it was just I don't know, there was just something about don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's just because it was more fun than Mario, because we didn't have very many games growing up. Um, but I've always been more of a Zelda fan, more of a Final Fantasy fan, and but then growing up, like it turned into like MMOs, basically just about any MMO I could get my hands on. But so far, like as far as like top games, I mean, City Skylines is going to be up there for sure because it has definitely like they've keep updating it. They keep putting out new stuff and new content for it, and I still love it even though my computer doesn't. Um, and I oh gosh, like I mean, Dishonored is also definitely among my top just because it has I like the sneak factor and I also enjoy the magic, and that's something that I really enjoy. I haven't played too many sneak games to be honest, but Dishonored definitely like hit a certain like hit the right notes for me, so I really enjoyed that. Gosh, I mean a lot of my favorite games are ones I've already streamed too. But as far as other ones, I'm having a hard time thinking right now about them. Aside from like all the old ones I used to play when I was a kid.
Did you stream Link to the Past?
No, I want to though. I would like to. My brother even got me a Super Famicom with the Japanese version because I had expressed interest in learning how to speedrun it. So he got me those, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I really want to play this now." But I have no way of playing it. I have to like find some sort of adapter for it. But I do have the Super Nintendo Classic, the little that like little version that they have, and if I remember right, that has Link to the Past on it too. And I want to play it so bad. I want to do like a retro thing and go through like all the different retro games I haven't played. I haven't played Earthbound. I haven't really played Secret of Mana. I've played some of it, but it's kind of lost to memory. You know what I mean? Like I only remember little bits and pieces of it. So I never really, because we only got to rent it when we were kids. So it was very it's very like scattered memories, and so I would like to play that too. I just have to figure out how to get it to work because it's not on the computer. So
Yeah. Unfortunately, you have to get capture cards and stuff. I mean, for the Famicom, I know they actually have um, what is it? They have a like they have the component, so like the red, blue, yellow. No, red, yellow, white. They have those for
yeah,
like I think those are like $30 online, maybe. They're pretty cheap.
yeah. They are pretty cheap. I'm just lazy.
Yeah.
I'm just really lazy, and it's it's like a one thing at a time deal and stuff. So yeah, I mean it'll happen for sure. For sure it'll happen.
Oh yeah, I get you. But I mean, I just got to say, like, I don't know, your style, the way that you've presented yourself, though it's semi like minimalist in the sense that you don't have a green screen, but you have this really awesome tapestry behind you. I don't know if I would call you lazy. I would just call you very stylistic.
Oh, thank you.
That's what I would stick with it. And I mean, you've got a really cool streaming style. What what are some games you're kind of looking forward to coming out that you want to stream? Is there anything coming out soonish outside of like maybe episode 2 of the I've already lost the game name. I'm sorry.
Rune
Yeah.
or Life is Strange, either one of those, honestly. I haven't really kind of had my ear on the pulse of new games recently, aside from like the big ones like Fallout 76, which is kind of that one's kind of seemed interesting to me, to be honest. But I'm not really sure. I kind of like I kind of tend to just go and kind of peek around at games. Uh, and like if something like usually Steam will recommend me a game like Dishonored, like not Dishonored. Long Dark was actually a recommended game on Steam for me. Steam was just kind of like, hey, I think you might like this, and I'm like, really? And I just took a look and I was like, oh my god, this game looks amazing, and that's just how it happened. Oh yeah, Green Hell. Green Hell seems like a game that would be fun too. It's kind of like the Long Dark, but it takes place in like the Amazon or something like that. which just sounds brutal.
Sounds like Mimi's not digging Fallout 76, but yeah, that sounds really cool. Have you played Don't Starve?
I haven't. I think I have it, but I haven't actually played it.
Oh man, whenever I was watching you play The Long Dark, I feel like The Long Dark, it's not the same, but there are certain elements. It's the survival aspect that kind of sticks out to me.
Right.
But that one's my personal, like, that's my top favorite game of all time. It's like if Tim Burton got together with a bunch of gaming trolls and made this game that just constantly trolls you while you're trying to survive in like the funniest ways. That's the best way for me to describe it. It's just it's too cute that even when you die you can't be mad because you're like, well, you know what? That was cool.
Oh no, that sounds amazing though. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check. I've been told many times by friends that I really need to play Don't Starve. I might need to get that and check it out because yeah, I haven't played that one, but
Yeah, if you own it
uh,
already, and it's not very stressful on your PC either.
oh yeah, no, totally. And that's like that's the biggest thing right now when it comes to games is I have to find ones that just aren't that stressful, which is great.
I get
It's
you.
awesome.
I was up until about a year ago, maybe actually less than a year ago. So I had a PC that I had bought in 2010, I think, and I had upgraded it as best as I could, and I'd been running off of that thing forever. And then finally my sister sent me her husband's old computer, which is still 9 times better than my new or like my computer. So it just works so well.
Nice.
So you just kind of gotta do what you gotta do. It's tough.
Yeah, I'm hoping that, in the coming months, I'm working on saving up money and things like that. And if I'm able to get my actual computer up and running again, then it should be fine. It's kind of one of those like situations where I just want to like I just have to like sit down with it. You know what I mean? Like I just have to like sit down, dedicate like a day or even 2 days to just kind of like figuring it out and letting it update and do all the things and stuff. Because if I can get Windows 7 working, then I can see if it'll handle a more intense game like with the new CPU that it's got on it. Assuming they didn't screw that up too.
Right? Welcome, Is it Carnados? Carnados.
Carlos, hello.
Welcome. Hey.
Carlos is my other mod and supporter. Oh my goodness.
Hey. I also forgot to say hey to Ashgard. Ashgard's in here. I don't know if Ashgard follows you, but Ashgard actually was someone who followed like our first interview, I'm pretty sure. So that's really cool to see.
Oh, hello, Ashgar.
Yeah, Ashgard. I haven't heard from Ashgard in a while, so that's cool. And this is what's great is like talking to you guys at different times. I got to see different people, so it's great to kind of see your chat kind of pop in. What did Mimi said a little while ago? Oh, she said Sneaky is lucky I don't have access to her quotes command at the moment.
Yeah, she is lucky, isn't she? I'm so lucky. Maybe likes to add things to my oh my god. She likes to add uh quotes and clips, funny clips that I embarrassing clips, Mimi.
Do you have I know you sent me the bear. There was the bear clip. I'm a bear. Was that it?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
then and then you sent me the clip of the wolf attacking you in the long dark, and I'm like, that
Oh my
was
god.
amazing.
You can hear it coming. I'm all like, we avoided a wolf attack because you hear it coming right up behind me. Like, and I was just like, how the heck did I? I just like celebrated a little bit too soon there.
Yeah, it was perfectly timed and well clipped. What like so? Do you have any other like highlighted moments or memories like clipped from your stream?
Um, gosh, I
Ooh,
mean,
Carnados, thank you for the follow.
I've had quite. I mean, aside from there's been like a lot of like for me like in on my stream there's a lot of like um jump scare clips and there's a lot of like giggle fit clips. So a lot of like, oh, Sneaky got scared by a bear, or playing Dishonored. I love Dishonored, but I am so easily scared by Weepers and any sort of creature slash monster that is meant to be sort of like a zombie. They terrify me. Like I could never play a horror game because even Dishonored is a little bit intense for me in those levels where they're very common. So I mean, I even have like I have some clips and stuff where like I'm like run up the stairs. I'm like running up the stairs to an apartment, and I'm like, oh yep, there's a Weeper. I'm just gonna run up here, and I'm assuming that the Weeper's not gonna chase me, but the Weeper chased me like 3 flights of stairs. I thought I was safe, and then I turn around and there's a freaking Weeper, and it echoes off like I echo off the wall. Like it's like you can hear like how bare my walls are, and it was just like it's just so scary. Like I'm so easily startled in those situations. It's like the loudest anybody ever hears me is whenever I'm scared. But those like basically those, and then just like any instance where I've been able to make myself laugh really hard and just like over like some stupid joke, like when I played The Long Dark and made a joke about having willpower, and I just thought it was hilarious, and I just couldn't stop laughing.
It literally just took me like 2 seconds to understand that joke too.
I love puns.
I get it. That's nice. So
We got willpower.
so where did you get Sneaky Zombie from?
I got it from kind of two things. Kind of three things. Okay, so usually whenever I played an MMO, I would name my character. I'd name my character Zombie. And that was my go-to name, and except I would spell it differently because usually the plain spelling was taken as it always is. So zombie was like a go-to name for me in MMOs, and sneaky kind of just like refers to just like the kinds of games that I would enjoy, like and the kinds of I always kind of liked like even if I never played a stealth. Well, aside from friggin' Skyrim, why did I never mention Skyrim as one of my favorite games? Gosh, it's been a while since I played one of that, but I sunk many hours into that game. But like I was a huge fan of sneaking. Basically, it was the sneak class in Skyrim. Even if I didn't play sneak classes in MMOs, I was very into uh, I was like a mage, but I liked to be like stealthy. I liked to be that person that is doing damage to you and you can't tell who it is type thing. So that was kind of what I liked. But ultimately, like it comes down to like when you're watching like The Walking Dead or any other zombie thing, and everything gets like really quiet. You have two characters and they're talking to each other, and everything seems nice and safe. And then all of a sudden, there is no groaning, there is no nothing. All of a sudden, a zombie pops up and bites them on the neck. And now you know that character is going to die and they're never going to come back. But it's like, that is the sneakiest zombie ever. Sneak right up on you. They hold their breath. They no there's no nothing. You can't even hear them approaching. And I was just like, it's a sneaky zombie. And so it kind of just I was like, I like that word. And so it just kind of I was like, I need to get that.
I felt bad too because you've got the underscore in your name. So I last week I put a straight out host to Sneaky Zombie no underscore,
Oh
and then I was like,
no,
oh no, and then I got it sent over to you. I was like a little behind. I
no.
was like, oh crap. Okay, there we go.
If it makes you feel better, I've totally done that too. I'm like, I'm gonna host this person, and I type in their name, and it's completely not that person. And like, people are like, "There's nothing going on," and I'm just like, "I did the wrong name," and I've done it before. It's totally understandable. It's too bad that the regular sneaky zombie is taken. I can't get the underscore taken out now. Boo.
Yeah, well,
I,
I mean,
I like
it's your name now. Everyone knows how to find you.
yeah, right? Seriously.
Despite being a sneaky zombie, they can still find you. So how long have you been watching Twitch then? If you said you've been, you were kind of following for quite a while, like watching Let's Plays and Twitch and stuff. Like, how long have you known about Twitch?
I've known about Twitch for, well, I think my account's like, I don't want to put numbers on it, but it's at least 4 years old. I don't know how old Twitch is. It's old. My account's old. My account's old. It's at least, I mean, it's at least 3 or 4 years old. I
Okay.
haven't. I watch a lot of. I'm kind of more like I'm a huge lurker on streams. So like I'll find people, but I mostly like to find people that I can listen to, and maybe not necessarily always watch because I'm like a very distractible person, and so once I'm done streaming, like I find it hard to stay in my seat. So I'll usually go into the kitchen and do stuff in the kitchen, or elsewhere and stuff, and have my headphones on, yay wireless headphones, and stuff like that. So that's what I really like to do. Is there's a lot of really awesome streamers out there that'll be playing like like City Skylines, and they're like, oh, it's like, what should we put over here or something like that, or we got this little district over here or something, and they're talking and stuff. But there's something that about their tone or their conversational tone that's really nice.
Okay. What so oh yeah, you were talking about cooking earlier. You're doing cooking streams. How long have you been doing cooking streams for?
I think not very long. I mean, so cooking streams only happen when my roommates are out of town, and that's just because I have roommates, and I don't want to like because I have to move my entire computer into the kitchen, type deal. So for me, I'm always like, I always wait until they're gone. That way, there's no like, oh hey, can I like, get some food, or anything like that. I can just kind of have the kitchen to myself. So I think I've done like 3 or 4 cooking streams. Like we've made pancakes, we've made soup, we made cookies, we made pickles once. We made pickles. Oh my gosh, I think it's only been 3. I want to say it's been 4 though. There's something tells me we've had 4 cooking streams. But yeah, I just started those because I was like, I want to cook and I like company when I cook, so it just seemed like a logical thing.
Was that did you feel that played out differently than when you normally just stream video games? I mean, of course there's some obvious differences, but something you didn't expect.
Yeah, like I think yeah, it's because the attention, or at least when I watch it, because sometimes I like watch my VODs, which I guess is not the most weird thing to do, because I don't know, but it's like the attention is completely on you at that point. There's no gameplay for people to focus on, so it's almost as if, I mean, literally all it is your webcam at that point, and so I think at that point it's like it's different. I don't know how it's different, but it's different. It's a little bit weird, but it's kind of exciting too because then it just kind of becomes about the conversation and not about gameplay. So you don't have to worry about like narrating gameplay. At this point, you're narrating you're narrating the cooking. I'm like, okay, we're gonna chop up these potatoes, kind of deal. But then it's just kind of like, what do you guys want to talk about? Let's talk about stuff because it's kind of like a free for all at that point. You know what I mean?
I get you. Yeah. So do you feel that's harder or easier?
I
Maybe.
feel like I think maybe in some ways it's a little bit easier because kind of like how I mentioned earlier, like when I in my cooking streams, if anybody watches those, compared to my normal streams, they might notice that I'm like way more high energy in my cooking streams. And I mean, part of it is like I kind of have to like naturally talk a little louder so that my mic picks up my voice because I don't have it like right in front of my face like I usually do. Uh, but also there's just like the for me at least, like for me cooking is just energy. Like there's just a lot of energy in cooking. My family, my grandmother taught me how to cook,
Oh, whoa.
and
Sorry, 1 second.
uh oh.
Holy cow. Smoke and Dank just hosted us for 13 viewers. Thank you, Smoke and Dank.
Hello,
I,
Smoke
j-
and Day.
I just gave me a heart attack. I was
Oh,
like, I thought my computer exploded for a second. I forgot that's so loud. Oh
you
my
you
gosh.
got this.
Oh, oh my gosh.
That's
Hey,
scary.
hey, Dank, how you doing, buddy?
Hello, Day.
Welcome anyone who's come over. This is Sneaky Zombie. She is a Twitch streamer who likes to play games like The Long Dark. What else are you working on right now?
Mostly Long Dark and Graveyard Keeper. Those are kind of my two go-tos right now. For sure until I'm finding something new.
Okay. Holy hell. So if you guys haven't followed Sneaky Zombie, you should go over and hit Sneaky with a follow because she's got a really cool channel. She's got, as you can hear, she has an incredibly soothing voice. She's incredible at narrating as she plays and stuff. She's very captivating as she plays, and she's playing some really cool games. Um, what? Okay, so we got into the conversation about cooking streams.
Yes,
I
cooking. So, yeah, go
what?
ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna ask where we were at that point. I've lost all memory. I just
Oh,
flashed, and now I'm.
that's okay. That's okay. So basically, so I believe you had asked, basically just kind of like how it's different, and so I was talking about basically how, for me, it's different because cooking itself is kind of more of a high energy activity for me, and my family has always been for cooking was always basically a social thing, so it was always very social, very exciting, and like like talking in the kitchen. My family is very loud, and so even at my loudest, I'm still fairly quiet compared to the rest of my family. And so I think that kind of like translates into the stream because I end up being a lot louder, more high energy, much more energetic and silly, I guess you could say. Um, but I it's almost as if like there's just no other way to be. um, I just don't. I'm just like I don't think I could possibly be as it couldn't possibly be a chill stream, you know. It's just like it's like there's so much to do when you're cooking, you know. There's so much to do. You have to keep an ear out for this and an eye on that, and you have to make sure you're cutting this just right and stuff, and reading chat at the same time and talking to them. So it's like it's almost like there's even more to do than just playing the game and keeping an eye on chat. So I think that's kind of how it's different.
I've tried a few cooking streams myself, and they give me a little bit of anxiety because I'm very strict about my cooking, and so like even if there's someone standing in my way, I'm like, you have to move. I need to get to the pot. Like so,
Oh,
so like
oh yeah.
timing wise, I get stressed out.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I don't have anybody in there with me in my cooking stream because I'm like a bee, like I'm all over the place. Like I go back and forth. Like I don't know, like I feel bad because sometimes I forget to move my camera because I don't always plan ahead with where I'm going. So I'll like go over to stir something in the pot and stuff, but my camera is still on the where my on my prep table because I still only have one camera, and so it's just like, so I'm just like, oh, sorry guys, I forgot, I have to, here, hi, we're over here stirring now and keeping an eye on the soup and things like that. It's just ridiculous, but I totally understand what you mean about that. It's like cooking, you're in the zone. It's like stay out of my zone.
I get you. I get you. So, Sneaky, we're kind of coming towards the end a little bit here. So I wanted to kind of ask, what what kind of advice would you give to streamers who are up and coming that might be looking up to you? Like if they were to ask you, like, hey, what are you? Yeah, I'm thinking about getting into streaming. What type of advice would you give them?
Oh gosh. Honestly, I mean, I feel like a lot of the advice I give is the kind of advice you find online, and I don't mean that in like a oh just Google it sort of way, but I more mean it in a way that like the there's a lot to be said. Keep talking. Keep talking. don't stop talking. You're always talking to somebody, even if you're not. Pretend you are. Pretend you're talking to at least 3 or 4 people, and also never ever 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 look at the viewer count. Just don't. If you have to cover it up, like you can like click it and it'll not show you, right? You have to like hover over it to look at it. I even have that particular part of my dashboard put away. So I click the little up arrow that makes it shrink. Don't ever look at your viewer count, because that's just anxiety waiting to happen. Because either you're going to see that there aren't very many people and you might get discouraged, or you're going to see that there's more people than you've ever anticipated, and your face is going to turn red and you're going to start freaking out, and you might acknowledge it, and then like it just is too much. You know what I mean? Like it's better that you wait until after the stream, and then you can look and be like, wow, I did so good. Like, holy crap, I had like, 70 people today. I can't believe that. Like, wow, I'm so glad I didn't look at the viewer count, because shoot, like I might have panicked. At least me. So I would say those are my top two, is just keep talking, uh, keep just always talk about something. You don't have to talk about anything you like. Just talk about the game. Like, narrate the game. I The reason I narrate so much is sometimes because I don't know what to talk about. Until people find something, and I'm like, oh yeah, and then we talk about all sorts of stuff. But just talk, and don't look at the viewer count, I'd say.
Okay. So we're still kind of still got quite a bit of filler.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, totally.
So I was just gonna kind of
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, where do you see yourself like in the next like? So you've been streaming for over a year now. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot's changed in a year. Where do you see yourself in a year from now?
Oh gosh. I hope I grow, and I hope I do even better. And I really do want to shoot for partner someday, and that is kind of like a goal of mine. And I don't. I mean, it's not a race at all by any means, but it's definitely something. I'm just kind of excited to see where I am. I hope I'm obviously doing even more than I'm doing now. But I don't know. It's kind of crazy to think about it. You know what I mean? But I want to do more games, and I want to have a better computer so that I can do more. Uh, so I can do like more complicated games. I can do a city, city skylines again, or doing more cooking streams. I would love to do some more cooking streams more frequently. But yeah, I mean, I hope that. I think it would be really cool if by next year I was partnered. But I think that even just growing bigger would be like kind of wild and awesome.
Okay, okay. Well, Sneaky, I think we're actually gonna kind of cap it here.
Okay.
Is there anything else you just kind of want to say before we finish?
Oh, I'm just so thrilled to have even been here, and I'm so glad that you reached out, and this is on. I've never done this before, and so it was a little bit scary, but I'm so excited, and I'm so glad that I got to do this, and I just thank.
Yeah, okay. So, everybody, I just want to say to any of the followers from Dank, any of the followers from Zombie, guys, thank you so much for joining us here. If you want to catch more stuff, we will be doing. So you can go over to YouTube. We have a whole playlist over there of streamers that you can check out, including Dank. We did Tweety Expert last week, Zalthara week 1. Pink Smurf, like a lot of really cool streamers. We've got more to come next week. It's going to be later at night. We're going to be doing an interview with Meteor Matt. Meteor Matt is, again, he's one of the big. He's just an awesome streamer. He's very versatile. Um, he's just done some really crazy stuff lately. He's been doing, like, he's very incorporative with all of the audience. He's been playing marbles with Friends or something like that, which is extremely interactive. You can play right there with people. He's also he survived a big move from California to Seattle and came back even stronger as a Twitch streamer. So if you get a chance, you gotta check him out. Again, there's buttons down below for everything. You can click any of those buttons to find us on YouTube, on Google Play, on iTunes. You can find us at Scener. We actually just watched The Ballad of Buster Scruggs today. Surprisingly good movie. So if you have iTunes or if you have Netflix or Hulu, you can watch that along with us, as long as you have the Chrome extension for that. And you can also find us here at Twitch. We're going to be live on Wednesday at noon. We're going to be talking about Black Friday deals at Walmart, and we're going to be talking about things that we are thankful for. Hopefully, I'm still writing that one up, but that's going to be our big thing. Oh, yeah, slide into our Discord. We have a Discord down below. You can click right on our Discord button, and it'll send you in there. We've got plenty of people hanging out, having fun, so feel free to pop into our Discord. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm actually going to send you over to the Nerdy Steve, who is hopefully going to be a future interview here soon. It looks like he's writing a play. So, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time.